5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Highway of the Hidden, where the forgotten roads of history still breathe, and the night hides more than shadows. Here, the restless dead whisper in the dark, cryptids stalk the tree line, and conspiracies linger just out of sight. Every mile takes us deeper into the unknown, and every story carries a chill. So buckle up and join me as we take a ride down the highway.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Highway of the Hidden. I'm your host, Polarbear, and tonight we welcome back Nathan. Nathan, hopefully we can get this one recorded. How you doing, brother?
All right, I'm ready to go, man.
All right, so we're gonna go into your paranormal encounter. Last time you were here, it was your Bigfoot encounters and stuff. So this time we're gonna do your paranormal that we had just kind of brushed a little bit of right before we had said our goodbyes, so I'm excited to hear it, man. Yeah, let's jump right into it head first.
Well,
Let's
first
go.
and
How did you get
foremost,
started and all that?
let me say that some woods you should never go into. You know, I know people that love the outdoors. They don't always do their thorough research, and they think, hey, let's just go there. Always do your research, man, because you might end up stepping in some woods you shouldn't be in. And that's what happened to me and my buddy Jerry. I was 15. He was 16. We used to always go hiking. That was our thing. We loved to explore. We tried to find new places to fish, whatever, that was just our thing, was nature. And the place was called Ocala Silver Springs RV Camp. And it was off of 40 East in Florida on the way to Daytona. And it's nothing but swamps and woods. Just nothing but that. And there's a lot of Indian lore and culture and history that come out of Florida. Even the name Ocala, Florida, that everyone knows about, it's just spelled differently. The Ocala Indians, then you had the Choctaw, and then you had the Seminole. And I don't know what burial ground we accidentally found in that swamp, but it was one of the three. I mean, that was your major Indians that were in that area at the time. We were walking down the trail, and we always marked our trees so we could find our way out and know where we were. So we always had tree markers. And as we were marking this new area, we started to hear things that we shouldn't have been hearing. We started hearing horses whinnying. We started hearing people speaking in languages, that I didn't understand. And we even started hearing kids laughing. And meanwhile, me and my buddy are looking around like, where is this coming from? And as we kept walking, I accidentally tripped. And I fell, and I was like, well, what'd I trip on? And when I looked, it was a small gravestone. And when I looked, I was like, oh, wow, that's a little graveyard. And when we realized it, all of a sudden, this fog started to come in, and you could feel it. It was really creepy. I'm getting goosebumps again just saying it. But when that fog rolled up, all of a sudden we started seeing the Indians running and the gunshots, and we could hear the screaming, and the kids weren't laughing anymore, and the horses were, whinnying and roaring in combat, and we just started seeing this vision of, and they were getting killed and they were getting shot. And next thing we know, we saw a giant water oak tree, and there was nooses just hanging in the tree, still swinging. And we were so freaked out and overwhelmed. We didn't know what we were seeing. We didn't even know what was going on. And that's when we saw a yellowish golden kind of light that was on like this woman. And she was laying on her side on the ground, and she was calling for help. And we were so caught up in the moment of what was going on that we thought, she really needed help, though, And we started heading towards her, and we felt compelled to come to her. That was the thing. You know, I would help anyone in general anyway, but this was, we felt like we were almost being pulled, you know, like it was just drawing us in. And luckily for us at that moment, a wild boar happened to come out of the palms. I mean, boy, it come out and it was coming right at her. And she picked up her hand and she's like, get away. And she waved her hand. And I'm talking about, this is a 400 or 500 pound pig. It went flying
Yeah.
through the air. It hit a tree. It practically wrapped around the tree. And that luckily happened to the point where me and Jerry could get out of that almost like trance or whatever was going on. And I remember my grandma always telling me to plead the blood of Jesus if you feel evil, you know? And after that, that really scared us. I mean, the hog just literally lifted up off the ground and flew through the air. I mean, it was just really something to behold. So we started to run up out of there. And as we got out of there, we realized we couldn't see our tree markers anymore. And that's when the true fear set in, is because now we somehow were somewhere else and we didn't know what to do. So as we're looking around, then we started to hear it. It was this intense, like growling, but it was really low. It was, at first I didn't even hear it. And then it slowly started to grow and pitch and rumble. Next thing we know, we started to actually feel it. And that's when we saw it. It was like some kind of huge wolf, like a large dog, but it was on all fours. It wasn't two-legged, it was four, but it was gigantic. It was just a wolf that should not have been that big. Its head was probably to like our shoulders. You know, I mean, this is a really large wolf. And we don't have wolves in Florida. That's the crazy thing. We have coyotes. We don't have wolves. So that was the fear of that. And it started chasing us. We came upon a shack. And we're teenagers. I mean, we're panicked and out of our mind. We're so scared, it's not even funny. So we're beating on the door asking for help. And this older Indian man comes to the door and he's like, oh, you boys come in, you know. And we came in and he shut the door and the growling stopped. And we were just so grateful, you know, because we thought we were going to die. We thought this thing was going to eat us.
Right.
So we didn't even know what on earth it was, you know. Like I said, there's no wolves in Florida. So, I mean, this was pretty terrifying. So the old man, he sits us down and he starts asking us questions. He's like, how'd you boys get here? And I'm like, we were just hiking and we just stumbled upon a tombstone. I tripped over it and we saw the spirits and we told him the whole story. And he's like, man, you boys accidentally crossed into a spiritual plane. And I was like, what spiritual plane? What do you mean? He's like, you boys got lost. Yeah, you boys are going to have to find your way back. And I was like, oh my God, what do you mean? We're not where we were. And he's like, no, this is the Indian plane for the lost ancestors. And you stumbled upon this and you shouldn't be here. That's why the wolf was chasing you. It's a spiritual guardian. You don't belong. And I was like, oh my God, you know, we're trying to absorb what this man's telling us. And I said, well, can you help us? You know? And he's like, yeah. He said, I can keep the wolf at bay long enough for you boys to try and find your way back. But did you mark anything? And I said, yeah, we use tree markers. And he's like, well, I hope you can find them. You know, he's like, you're going to have to run out there and find it as quick as possible. And I'll keep it at bay. So he had a bird, a large trained bird, some kind of hawk, I guess. And he said the hawk will keep the wolf busy long enough for you boys as long as it can. And I said, all right. And the hawk was literally chasing and bombing down on the wolf and distracting it and flying by it. And the wolf would strike at it and, you know, the hawk would quick fly away. And So we panicked and we run out the door and we're believing in this old man and this hawk, you know, and the wolf and the hawk are going at it and we're running and looking. We only used one color and that was red because in Florida, red just isn't a common color. You know, I mean, you just won't see red.
Right.
So we just kept running around looking. Finally, my friend said, "Hey, I think I see it over there." And we turned and looked. And lo and behold, we saw red in the tree and we started to run. Now, this is where it gets freaky. As we found the tree and as we passed it, you couldn't see anything. But when we passed it, we felt that darkness come up off us. Everything came back to normal and we recognized where we were at. And we were just so grateful. We were hugging each other and, oh man, we're alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Dude, that's intense.
was some crazy supernatural story, boy. I never experienced anything like that.
No, that's definitely something. You think it had something to do with like your Bigfoot stuff? Like it could have correlated some kind of way? I mean, you think they could have matched up somehow?
It's possible. I don't know how, but you know, I've seen spheres in Florida a lot. They're either orange or they're
Right.
blue, and I've seen them a lot. But honestly, a few months back, last winter, here in York, Pennsylvania, I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and there was 5 blue orbs floating right above the neighbor across from me, up in the sky, and they were a light bright blue, and they were beautiful, and there was 5 of them, and like this geometric like type of a triangle V like X pattern. It was hard to
Yeah.
explain. I've never seen a pattern like that, but and they were bright and glowing. But in Florida, it's common. Like I told you last time, they call it the lantern effect. You'll
Mhm.
see that orange light or you'll see a blue light in the woods, and shortly after, you'll see Bigfoot. It's very common in a lot of the stories you hear. So last time me and you were mentioning, could they be interdimensional? And
Mhm.
like you said, you know, some people say they can even cloak. So they're definitely a magical creature. But like I said,
Right.
I think there's some kind of Nephilim. Like I told you, that's what I think Bigfoot is. Honestly, because
Yeah.
they would have abilities if they were fallen angels. You know what I mean? If they were Nephilim, they would have abilities. Because, you know, the angels have abilities.
Yeah. And they could definitely jump dimensions and things like that and cloak themselves and stuff to where you couldn't see them.
But let me
So
ask you
that makes
this.
sense.
As a believer, what do you think of ghosts,
Mhm.
though? I mean, me and you were Christians, me and
Goats?
you were believers. So,
Yeah.
how do you explain ghosts? Let me hear your opinion because I'm curious.
Well, my opinion on ghosts is that I do believe that they are just spirits left behind. Like some people just don't cross over, they don't know how when they die, and it's usually someone that dies suddenly. And so I 100% think that ghosts are, not all of them. Some of them residual hauntings, they have all kinds of different levels, but I think ghosts they're intelligent, the ones that are. I think they're humans. I don't think they're all demonic like some people say that they are. I believe there's just good spirits and bad spirits and evil spirits. That's my opinion on them. What do you think?
Honestly, I agree with you to a certain extent because, but how can they be left behind? See, that's the thing. Like, there's heaven and hell,
Yeah.
so how can they just be, you know, it just seems so odd to me that they can just not go to one or the other. I mean, it's just wild to me that, because you hear horrible
I
ghost
think
stories all the time,
yeah, and I
all
think
over. Yeah.
it could have to do with maybe they died, and they're waiting on a loved one, and maybe that loved one didn't know they were waiting and they went on and went to heaven or went to hell, whichever, and then they got stuck here because they didn't know that they passed, and so they're forever wandering instead of going and getting judged and sent to either or. They just they could keep wandering until the trumpet sound, I guess.
Well, like the famous Lady in White story, everyone's heard that. And do you know
Mm-hmm.
that story's told in almost every country?
Yeah,
That's what's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, almost every country has that
The
Lady in
lady in
White
white
story. Yeah,
and on the road. Yeah,
yeah.
man,
It's either
that
it's
was
either
one of
a
the
wedding
ones.
dress or it's a white evening gown, or it's always white though. It's yeah,
Yeah, it's always white, and it's always something tragic, like either
yeah,
they were killed by their lover or their lover didn't love them and they killed themselves, and it's always something
yeah. It's always
of that
something
nature,
dramatic.
which
I
is
think they call her the Weeping Lady or something. I think.
yeah. Yeah, the weeping lady or something like, and it's always you see them on the side of the road. You stop and pick them up, they ride with you, and then all of a sudden they disappear. And a lot of those, I've been researching, and that's where I get a lot of those shorts from. I'll do my research on like a certain state, and lately I've been asking, I'd asked this one, which state should I do next? And that I think you commented or the other guy commented, somebody commented, well, do Florida. So I was like, okay, cool, because Florida has some of the most crazy stories ever,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Florida is just a wild place. And dude, when I started researching Florida, like ghost stories, cryptid stories, but like the only main cryptid that I kept getting was the skunk ape.
oh
But
yeah.
ghost stories, dude, I found so many ghost stories. Like I forget which one I'm gonna post soon. I forget, but I did it. It wasn't the Bellamy Bridge. It was, I can't remember. But I did the research on it, and this, yeah, I can't remember the name. But it might be the Bellamy Bridge. I know I'm fixing to post one because, yeah, I think I posted the Devil's Chair. And that story in itself was absolutely insane.
That creeped me out, bro. When I saw that video
Dude,
you
that
sent me,
one,
I was like,
yeah,
no, no. Would you sit in this chair? No, I would not sit in this chair.
yeah. And it was like, man, dude, I did the research on that one, and that one freaked me out. That was one where I was like, oh. And it's like, because I love doing paranormal, I love cryptids. It's my two favorite things, right? And I do Texas, but Texas is just, like, yeah, there's a lot, but I'm like, I want to do different states. And when the Devil's Chair creeped up on me, I was like, oh, dude, I got to do
That
this
was
one.
really,
And
that's a
when
creepy story. That really is. And you'd have to be
do you know
crazy to
where it's
sit in that
at?
chair. Oh, you'd have to be crazy at midnight to sit in that chair. No way.
Yeah, but
Absolutely not.
there's people out there that do it. They still gonna do it, whether they believe in it, they don't believe in it. It's a dare. Somebody's doing it,
And that's why people
and
go
that's where they got
missing.
the legend from.
That's why people
Facts.
go missing.
I'll tell you one I tried to post. I tried to do the Voodoo Queen, and dude, I could not get the cap cut to make the video.
Well, that voodoo,
Like
listen, voodoo's scary, dog. That's some dark, really
dude,
scary shit.
yeah,
Really,
it is.
yeah,
And I was like, I did my
really.
research on it. I had it written up, and I typed it in the little bar and say, okay, here it is. Blah blah blah. Did all the research, everything, and the video wouldn't upload. The video wouldn't upload. Wouldn't make it. Wouldn't make it. Wouldn't make it. So I got on my Wi-Fi. It finally made the video. No sound. It would be like in and then cut off. In, cut off. In, cut off. And I'm like, dude. So finally, I just scrapped it. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. It's something saying, hey, don't post this, don't call on this. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy
So
it.
now
And I
here's the
just be quiet.
question. We've been hearing about CERN shooting their
Mhm.
Hadron Collider, and they're doing all their wild stuff. What if they have really knocked us into another dimension?
I definitely think that's possible, man. I do think in 2012 we were knocked into a different dimension, and that's why we are in the situation that we're in. And I feel like there's no hope. And if you notice, like, a lot of people feel like there's no hope. A lot of people feel like time is sped up tremendously. Dude, from the time I turned 21 to now that I'm 34, I feel like nothing slowed down. Every day is sped up.
Well, remember the Mandela effect. Remember that smart boy
Yeah,
that vanished? Remember he was explaining what CERN did and how we're
yeah.
knocked into another Earth dimension. The scientist
And
said
then
there's
I
one
heard
of
that.
17, dude. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and I think we did, man. I think we really did get knocked into it, and it's just like because there's so much stuff that goes on that shouldn't have, that didn't happen growing up, that didn't happen like up until 2012 and all this, and now it's really it's out of control, man. And I heard works like they're gonna do it again. They're supposed to do it again, fire it back up, and see what they can do.
Well, what's
I don't
terrifying
want
is I saw another one that said that they created a small black hole and it actually
to.
ate
Yeah,
up one of their facilities. Matter of fact, I
yeah,
think I
I've
sent you
heard
the
that too.
video. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it,
dude,
it literally
that.
swallowed the whole facility and killed them all. And I
Yeah,
truly believe it because you're messing with something you shouldn't be messing with.
no, and it doesn't matter what deals you've made
Yeah,
with certain groups.
yeah, it doesn't
Doesn't mean they
matter.
can protect you. No, and But that's part of it, right? Like, I didn't want to turn this into a conspiracy episode, but conspiracies are my thing, and it's hard for me to find people to talk about
Well,
it
honestly,
because,
honestly, think about this. What if the Marvel movies are real and there is the multiverse?
dude, and it definitely could be because they say movies are just laid out maps of
Small
what is
truths.
actually going on
Small
behind the
truths, they
scenes.
say.
Yeah, because it's their what do they call it? The harmonic law or whatever they call it. They have to tell you what they're doing, and then they can be like, "Hey, I told you. You chose to believe it or not. That's your deal." And I try not to dive too far into it, because this is videos for entertainment purposes only. It's not real. It's just entertainment, and because don't want to get canceled and all that. But it's the same thing with HARP, right? People still don't believe in HARP.
That's
And
terrifying.
like, you can literally look up HARP and they control the weather on what is going on.
Yep. You
There's no
remember,
reason
did
why
you
a
ever see the
hurricane.
video where the man was in the boat and the water violently exploded and was shooting up all over the place? And he's in the canoe
No,
and
I
he's
didn't see
like,
that
oh
one.
my God. Oh, yeah, the water. The water started to bubble and it started to roll and it started to wave. And the next thing I know, it started to explode like geysers,
Oh my
like
God.
fireworks run to the water.
Yeah.
Dude, it was a crazy video. Absolutely
Yeah, I'm
nuts.
gonna have to look that one up.
Man,
Yeah, because there's so much.
the guy's freaking out. Yeah, and people don't understand that NASA, dude. NASA is not to be trusted, dude. Seriously.
No, NASA
No,
can't be
NASA,
trusted at all.
not to be trusted.
There's a lot of truths out there or videos
They have a
that are
super
being
weapon.
exposed about NASA.
Like you
Oh
said,
yeah,
they can control earthquakes, the weather, storms. No, I believe that.
yeah,
I believe that.
they control all that.
Oh, I believe that. 100%.
And it was really made clear when that hurricane hit North Carolina last year.
Absolutely.
And I forget how many miles in it was. I live. You're from Florida.
Yeah.
You know about hurricanes.
Know all
I'm from
about
Southeast
hurricanes.
Texas. I know about hurricanes. Hurricanes, once they make land, they
They slow down, they stop, they weaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hurricane stayed Category 5. I forget how many miles in and kept. No, that doesn't happen.
No.
They don't.
Yeah.
Once they leave the water, they weaken tremendously. They get off the water and they start dying out. And of course, you're gonna have people on here that say, "Oh, dude, something." No.
Do you know what it was over?
I grew up in hurricanes. I know what hurricanes
It
do.
was
Yeah, lithium.
lithium, yes, sir. Yep. Yep, lithium.
Because that town said, "No, we're not mining our lithium."
Yep, and we're not going to
"Okay,
sell. Yep. And then look what happened.
Okay, well, we're going to get it anyway. When they want it, man, they're going to go take it. Whether it doesn't matter if you're in the way, it doesn't matter what you say. They want it, here they come. You're going to give it to them regardless. They're going to offer you first money, and they're going to be peaceful about it, and then you turn them down like, no, sir, you're coming back. But let's so back to the paranormal stuff before we get too deep into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to your question. So with all that happened, right, in the spirit realm, and you were accidentally lost into it, have you felt any residual from that, like for the rest of your life? Have you felt anything?
Sometimes I have flashbacks. Sometimes I have dreams, and we're still being chased by that wolf, and that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, you and your buddy.
Yeah.
Does he live up there with you, or does he still live in Florida?
No, I don't know what happened to him, to be honest with you. I lost touch with him.
Wow.
Once we were friends for like 30 years, and
Yeah.
I ended up moving, and I lost track with him, sadly, but
It does happen. Have you experienced any more paranormal since then?
yeah, actually,
any more?
Yes, I did at my mom's house. My mom fell in love with this man and married him, and the man's wife had died in the house, and we didn't know this. And she had died in this house, and I used to feel someone sit on the bed in my room. I'd be sitting in my room in this man's house, and I would feel someone sit on my bed. And that was just so scary. That used to terrify me so much. I could literally feel the weight of someone sitting down on the bed with me. And sometimes I would hear my name called. Sometimes she would say, "Get out." And one night, this was the worst that ever happened to me in the house, was I was dead asleep, and something slapped my foot at the end of the bed with such force that it spun me like a top off the bed and onto the floor. And I was
Wow.
like, oh my God, man. And I stopped sleeping in that room. I didn't care anymore. I started sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
I was done with that room. Yeah. That must have been her room or something.
Yeah, no, that's intense, dude. I don't blame you. That one, that's definitely
Oh,
an
that
intense
scared me
encounter.
bad, bro. You're in mid sleep and something hits you and spins you with such force that you go flying up off the bed and hit the floor.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a normal
No, that's
caster
not
type
normal.
being. No,
And one
and
day she just stopped terrorizing me and my mom. But yeah, me and my mom,
yeah,
she'd move stuff. She'd throw stuff across the room. She broke a wedding picture of my mom and her old husband. Oh, it was just wild. Threw it across
dang.
the
So
room.
she
It
was very,
exploded. Yeah, it was crazy.
so she was a very violent spirit or entity,
Oh,
I
she
guess you
was
could say.
angry
Very,
about my mom and me being in the house. That much I can tell you.
yeah, she didn't want you there, dude. That's crazy,
So I
man. That
moved. Yeah, my mom chose to stay, and I'm like, no, I'm leaving. This is too much for me.
right?
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
intense. I mean, to be physically hit that hard, I
mm,
mean that's serious. I didn't know spirits had that kind of strength. I mean, that's wild, bro. I'm a pretty big man. I mean, to spin me like a top.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, man. It's there's so many different kind of hauntings that can happen, and it's it is intense, man. You know, you do have your friendly type hauntings, and then you're more angry. You have your residuals. There's all kinds of stuff like, and the residual hauntings I feel like are the most chill because they don't know that they're dead. They just kind of do the same thing every day. And then you have the ones, I guess your friendlier ghosts, like usually. Well, some people say like the kid ghosts are friendly, but then you have others people that say don't trust the kid ghost because it's not what you think it is.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But you know, you watch some of these ghost hunting videos and they go to these places with where children had passed away or whatever, and they'll leave toys and stuff, but nothing ever happens. The toys just get played with. So I don't know. That one kind of throws me for a loop. But I don't know. I've read stories of like the kids, if they are demonic presence entities or whatever, the kid will be like not period appropriate clothing. It would, and it's always like you could feel it, I guess, because you can't hide evil, and that's what I mean.
Did
Like
you
if
hear
something's
about
evil, you're gonna know it's
you've heard
evil.
about the black-eyed children, right?
I have, and that
That's
one,
a
man,
creepy
I
one.
don't know.
I think that's
It is
really
creepy,
creepy.
but I've heard so much about it. I've heard it's fake. I heard it was written by a guy on creepypasta, kind of like Slender Man, but it just got blown up into other things. And so I don't know. It's still that one freaked me out though for a long. When I first heard it, dude, I was so scared to go out to my truck in the morning to work. I was like, dude, I don't want to be approached by no black eyed children at all. That sounds horrible.
Can we come in? Can you help us? No,
Yeah.
no. See,
And
what they're
then
seeking is
there's
that
some sort of
permission.
people let them in.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
seeking that
like a
permission.
vampire, right?
Yes, and that's the thing is if you don't open the door, they can't come in. And that's the
Yeah, they
thing.
have to stay
Yeah, they
on
have to
that
ask
threshold,
permission because there's
and it
rules.
makes you wonder.
There's rules to existence. On this physical realm, on this plane, there are rules. People might not realize there are rules, but there are rules. Like if they're on this physical plane, like a skinwalker, they can be killed. The body can be killed. Now, maybe not the spirit, but that physical body can be killed because it's the rule of this physical realm. If you're on this physical
Right.
realm, you can die. You know what I mean? It can happen, whether you're a demon or a skinwalker or whatever you are. Just like
Yeah,
that
and
one
then
famous video of the black eyed lady I saw on TikTok, and she's watching the guy walk down the street, and she looks creepy as almighty, and her eyes are huge and they're just solid black. And she's just watching him
wow,
walk
I haven't
by,
seen that
just
one.
staring at him with these huge black eyes. And that one creeped me out bad. I don't want to see no,
Yeah,
don't let me be outside
right.
walking at night. And then all of a sudden see this creepy black eyed lady staring at me. Man,
Right, dude. That's intense, man. What is your opinion on the like the more demonic and reptilian stuff being more seen now than it was say 5-10 years ago? What's your opinion on it being more exposed now?
honestly, they've been telling us the truth, man. I used to laugh at the draconian thing. I used to think, oh, the giant lizard people eating us and eating our children. And I used to think it was a joke. But the more research I did, the more testimony I used to read and hear. And I'm like, I don't know, man. There's a possibility that this could be real. They claim that they're
Yeah.
wearing masks like Mission Impossible. Remember that realistic machine? He could make people's faces, and
Yeah.
they claim that they're wearing masks just like that, and they're hiding
And just
amongst us.
walking around.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
That's
true,
crazy,
but
man.
I would hate to see one pull a mask off, and you see this crazy lizard face and teeth.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd feel, man.
I think if you saw it though, I don't think you'd make it past that part though. I think that at that point they're going to eat you, which I've heard about for a while. I heard they eat people. There's
Oh yeah, they say they're very strong.
I'm not an alien guy, but yeah, that's what they say. I just can't get behind aliens, but that some people swear up and down, dude, that there's.
I believe in aliens because as a Christian, there's the firmament, and there is no space. There's nothing but another ocean above us. Because the scripture says that when he flooded the earth, he opened the windows of heaven, and there's a water above. It says there's water above as below. You know, we have the oceans on earth, and there's water in heaven. Just like when you see a comet, think of this. Whenever you see a comet moving in the sky, if you look up and you really look at it, it looks like a boat on water with the rooster tail behind the boat. The comet truly looks like that. If you really look up in the sky, it is. It looks just like it. That's why the sky is blue. It's because the water above the earth.
That's interesting, man. I like that. I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I've never heard that one before. My thing with the aliens, and there's people out there, you know, they love them, and I get that, and that's your thing. Me, I'm just like, man,
I think they're demons, bro. I don't think aliens are aliens.
Yeah.
I think they're demons. Seriously, that's what I think.
I had a little thing about that a while back. Me and a buddy of mine were talking about it, and he asked me, you know, what is your thoughts on it? And I was like, well, if you look at a lot more recent, I guess, in sightings of aliens, if you look at it, they come out of water, right? They're
Yeah.
all out of oceans and stuff. Well, that's where Jesus cast the legion,
Yeah.
right? The pigs, they ran off into the ocean. And when I got into conspiracies, one of my buddies, the guy that got me into it, he's supposed to be coming on the show. I just got to lock him down. But he told me, he's like, aliens are demons, and this is why. And I forgot how he explained it, XYZ, but it made sense. And he was like, they're demons. They're not extraterrestrial. They're not these things out here. They are demons. And I know there's probably going to be people that are listening and be like, oh my God, you're wrong. Let me explain it this way. And that's fine. If you want to argue, come on, we'll talk about it. But this is what he told me. And me being a Christian, you know, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, me believing in that, I believe they're demons. I don't believe that they're outer beings. Could there be life? I don't know. Some people, they fight tooth and nail, say, oh, we can't be the only life. Maybe not. I don't know. But for my beliefs, that's just what it is. I'm not here to argue my beliefs with people. That's just
like the grays that you keep hearing about, you know, the little gray people with the big
grays.
heads and the black eyes. I heard a guy on here on the internet say that all that is a suit. It's a fake body made for the demon to control, to come into.
Right.
So it has a physical form. That's what he said the grays are. And I don't know how he knows this, but he said he had an inside guy that took pictures of the warehouse and showed all these fake bodies. And so, I mean,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that would make sense with the reptilians, being that they're pure evil. There's nothing you can do to stop them. They're mindless killers. They want sacrifices. They want all these things, and it makes sense, right? And then you have I forget which ones they call them, but they're tall, they're blonde, they're blue-eyed, they're huge, and they want nothing to do. They want nothing to do with the human race. And
I think that falls back to some of my Viking Norse ancestry. Yeah, they're tall, they're blonde, they're pale white, their veins look blue, almost like they have blue blood. Yeah, their eyes are pure blue. Yeah, they claim that they're from somewhere else. And a lot of people claim that they've seen those. I forget what they call them too.
And they're not, I forget how they say, I guess they say they're not. If anyone knows out there that's listening to this, leave a comment, and so I can know what it's called or remember what it's called. But I know they say it's like they're really beautiful, but they don't like the humans, but they're not mean to the humans. Like the reptilians, they don't give a shit. The Greys, they're kind of in the middle. Apparently they're nice, but they're not nice. That's just one of those type things. And yeah, man, aliens are such a weird. And people can listen to this and say, "Oh, well, weirdo, you like cryptids," you know? It's like, dude, I've seen a Bigfoot, so I know that they're out there.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen an alien.
I
don't want to see an alien.
I lived next to a family of them for years. Yeah, no, I'm well aware of.
Right?
And people just don't want to believe. That's all.
No, they don't. And then you have the part of the cryptid world that say Bigfoot are aliens, and it's so many different aspects on it. I guess I know we're kind of all over the place right now. It's just
no, I'm having a great time because I don't get many people to
when
talk
you're
to.
Flowing, you're flowing, you know.
Yeah,
yeah, and when you're flowing, and I know I try to stick to a certain subject, but man, when you're Highway of the Hidden and you cover cryptids, cryptid, paranormal, and conspiracies, it can go anywhere. I've had D.A. Roberts on. You know him? He's an author. Have you heard that episode with D.A.?
Mm-hmm.
Really good author. You should check him out. D.A. Roberts. You can go. It's on the show. Just go check him out. And I think his links are in the. But anyway, when he comes on, we'll have one subject, and it goes left very quick. We'll start talking about. I think at one point we were talking about restaurants. Like towards the end of the episode, we're talking about.
Now here's my question.
It was fun.
I'm trying to understand. So if someone in the comments can tell me, we didn't see a portal, we didn't see a door. How did we go into another realm? Like, that's my question for anyone. If there's any experts out there that could explain to me how me and him stumbled into a different realm. I would love to have an answer for that.
Strange, man.
Because I've never told the story.
Please.
This is my first time ever telling this story to anybody. Because it sounds so crazy.
If anybody out there can comment and help explain, like give us some reasoning why you think this is how you could cross realms.
Yeah, that's
let us know, because I want to know too, because that's an interesting.
Isn't that interesting? No, it is. It's crazy.
Yeah,
we couldn't see it. It looked normal, and next thing we knew, it wasn't normal. So that's But when your eyes can't perceive, see, that's the thing. Right. We couldn't perceive. It didn't look any normal or different or abnormal, or we were in the woods, and that's why you hear these park rangers warn: if you see something in the woods that shouldn't be there, don't go near it. Like the staircase.
Right. Don't go looking for it.
Remember the staircase one? That's really creepy, bro. Yeah, the staircase.
I've heard that one. Yeah, it leads to nowhere, but don't climb it. Yeah, dude, there's so many stories out there that are like that, and it makes you want to go out, and being human, you get curious, and you're like, man, well, what happens if I go up the stairs? Nothing. It could be nothing, but then it could be the world's worst thing ever. You don't know what, and the adventurer in me would want to do it, but then at the same time, it'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to go take a picture and keep moving. And that circles back to the devil's chair. I'm not willing to sit in that chair and see what I can conjure up just for the fun of it.
Absolutely not.
There's people out there that do.
Because if I heard that breath behind me and I heard that voice, I would lose it.
Yeah.
I would lose it.
Yeah. And if anybody's wondering what the devil's chair we're talking about, go check out my TikTok, and I posted the video. It's in Florida. And if you live in that area, or you happen to be going to Florida, go check out the devil's chair and let us know what happened. You can comment on there.
I don't think we're going to get a comment, bro.
No, I don't I hope nobody does it.
You sit in that chair and you're done, buddy.
Yeah. It's one of those things, man. So I heard about the Ocala National Forest?
Yep, the Ocala National Forest. It's the second largest national forest next to Yellowstone. People don't realize all the history in Florida. We have the second largest national forest. We're actually the horse capital of the world, not Kentucky.
Wow.
We have every animal in existence except wolves. Florida's wildlife is absolutely vivid and insane. And we have everything you can think of. But this is what I want to bring up to you. Have you ever been friends with a Vietnam War veteran?
No, I think I'm too.
Growing up, had the privilege of being taken in by a bunch of Vietnam vets, and they were lonely and they wanted someone to hang out with and teach things to. And so I was blessed as a young man and had all these Vietnam War veteran friends. Every one of them would always tell me the same story. They would talk about the horrifying skunk apes that threw rocks in Vietnam and would kill soldiers. And they said they called them rock apes, and they said that they were very powerful, and they were very tall and lean and very athletic, and they would chase them. They would swing through the vines. They would reach down and pick up soldiers by their head and break their necks. They said they're accurate with their rocks like you wouldn't believe. They said they're like a sniper. They said if they throw a rock, buddy, that they were going to hit you. Yeah. And it was terrifying.
That's crazy.
Because growing up listening to all these soldiers, we're talking about these are professional soldiers. They're telling experience, you know what I mean? And for every one of them to always tell me a rock ape story, that's wild. For every one of them.
I heard that a few times about it being in Vietnam.
Yes.
And that's the thing about what I find so fascinating about Bigfoot, man, is every continent has a Bigfoot story.
Yeah, every continent
has some kind of Bigfoot story, you know, and you can look it up. You can go on Google and type in Bigfoot around the world, and you're going to have tons of different stories from all over the place. And Bigfoot is such a fascinating
I saw another terrifying one about Australia Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, the Yowie.
Yeah, supposedly he's really aggressive and nasty.
Yeah, he's not a gentle one.
Yeah.
Like in the U.S., you know, we have the different ones. We have the Pacific Northwest. You have your patty type. You have your gugways. You have which are very violent. Good God, I had the name right there. The stone giant. I can't think of his name now. Genosqua. You have them. And, you know, they just get more violent the further you get away from the Pacific Northwest. The Bigfoot just get more and more violent. And that's what's crazy. But yeah, the Yowie, dude. The Yowie is... The encounters usually aren't good.
Oh, they say they're horrifying. They're killing and eating people, hunting people, chasing them, and
yeah.
They say it's really awful.
Violent. And I know in South America, I forget what they call them, but they're not very big. But they're a Bigfoot type creature. They're just not very big. They're not like arbs, what are 10 to 12 foot tall. They're more like, what do they say, like 7 to 8 or maybe even smaller, but they look like men, just hairy men.
And what's cool is lately I've been seeing some good Russian video of Bigfoot. Yeah,
dude. Was it the Dolotal Pass?
Good footage. I mean, he filmed it for a long time walking, bro. Yeah, he filmed it for must have been 5 minutes.
That one in Russia, the Dolotal Pass incident, that was 100% a Bigfoot. I don't care what anybody says. They can say it was,
for sure.
Oh, it's radiation. Because the indigenous people told even the people that came to investigate told them, do not go in that area. Stay out of that area. And they were like, oh, they were super aggressive. And they're trying to protect you. Bozo, stop trying to go places where they tell you not to go. And it trailed them campers, man. It followed them because they got in his territory, and he said, okay, cool, free meal, easy pickings, and he got them.
And I saw recently a cool thing. It was these 3 boys from Georgia, and I mean authentic rednecks. They got chew in their mouth. I mean, they're spitting, and they got scared, and they were drinking, and they heard noises, and they all 3 turned with their weapons, and boom, 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 they lit it up. Well, they found blood. And they found hair samples and even a chunk of flesh. And they sent it to this lady at some university in Georgia. And when she called them back, they went live on TikTok and they were asking her questions. She said it was an unknown species, but when she started to explain the DNA genetics, she said it was 50% human, 25% grizzly bear, and 25% silverback gorilla. Now, we went back to what me and you were discussing about the dogmen. Are they military super soldier weapons that they created that got loose or got out of control, or what? But could Bigfoot also be a super soldier experiment that they genetically did this with? When she said the 50% human, I almost passed out. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I just man, but see, unless that could be like a newer government experience, but Bigfoot's been around for so long, I don't
Oh
see
no, I
that. You know,
agree.
it's been
Bigfoot
around.
has been around a long time. But think of how
Yeah.
many sightings we've had lately. Over the
Yeah.
past
That
5 years, Polar Bear, we have had tons of cryptid videos and stories come in.
yeah, they've definitely
They've
elevated, man.
elevated, bro. Yes, they've
Videos,
elevated a lot.
people just you can look on the internet and find a recent cryptid encounter. They're not all violent, you know. Some of them are just like in passing, but still, the fact that we're seeing them, that and the Dogman is on the rise again.
Yeah.
Dogman's coming back up. Dogman sightings.
Something about Michigan, bro. A lot of dogmen stories
Yeah,
out of Michigan. A lot.
that
Yeah,
that
that
and
state.
Mississippi has a lot of them too. Apparently,
Oh, really?
from what
Mississippi?
I've read. Yeah, they have a lot of dogmen down there, and I don't know why, but they do. They have a lot, and yeah, Michigan, a lot of, and then the dogman encounters, man. It's I don't know. It's hard to. Dogman is one of the very
They
more
say they
complicated
feed on
things to find.
fear and they never kill and attack anybody. That's what they
Right,
say.
but they're violent. Their encounters are so scary, but like you said, they don't report a violent encounter because you imagine if it was a violent, they wouldn't be able to
Oh,
report
yeah, they
anything.
wouldn't be reporting nothing. Be in the belly of the
Because they do
beast.
report you know, violent Bigfoot encounters quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have a violent Bigfoot encounter come through, but a violent dogman encounter, no, you don't hear those. It's usually, oh, they were staring out their window, or they were, you know, scratching on their door, and they looked out and there it was, and then it ran off into the woods. I read one somewhere, a guy or a girl, I can't remember, had a dogman encounter. The dogman was coming towards them. They started praying, and the dogman stopped in his tracks and somehow telekinesis into their head and said, "Oh, you're one of them," and ran off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I read that, and I don't. It could be fake, could be just a BS story, but that's not the first time I've heard something like that. I've heard of people having dogmen, and they're so terrified that they're like, "Okay, I got to do this," and they turn on worship music, like true Christian worship music, and the dogmen haul ass. They don't come back. So, you know, take that what you will. That's just a lot of things that I've read about their encounters.
And then I saw that UFO documentary where the people said they were abducted. And when they were over on the table and they had all their tools that they were going to use on them and dissect them or whatever they were going to do, they cried out the name of Jesus and it instantly stopped. So
Yeah,
there's some truth yeah, there's some truth. Yeah.
for sure, because you know the almighty name Jesus.
Yeah, there's
You know,
power in the
is
name
your
of
Lord and
Jesus.
Savior.
Amen.
As long as you believe in it,
Yeah, there is
you know you're
power.
good.
And they said
Nothing
it
can
they said it
withstand.
instantly stopped though. That's what it was amazed
Yeah,
me. Is they said it instantly
and that
stopped.
yeah, and it's saying, and it goes back to just like that dogman encounter. Oh, you're one of those, and it has to leave, right? Well, why does it have to flee? Because evil has to flee in
Yeah,
the name of
in the
Jesus.
name.
If it's used with conviction, you know they, and man, it's yeah, it's this the cryptid world and all that, man. It's just such a slippery slope, and you offend a lot of people, and a lot of people aren't offended. It's just one of those things, and
But remember how gentle and kind some of the Bigfoot stories are, though. Some of them, they're
yeah,
saving
some of them
people,
they are.
helping people. Yeah, they're rescuing children. So
Yeah,
sometimes you
they're
hear
not all
wonderful
evil.
stories. So they're not
The
all
only time
scary,
you, but all the Dogman stories,
Are
they're
always
never helping.
terrifying. Yeah.
There's only the one I've heard of the guy getting helped by a Dogman, and it wasn't even to help him; it was to kill the Bigfoot that were on his land. That's the only one I've ever heard that was where it
So do
sort
you
of
think
helped
they
him. And
have
I've
a
heard,
rivalry?
yeah, for sure, man. You got to think two big apex
So you
predators living
think
in
like
North
lions
America.
and
Hell yeah.
hyenas, they have this never-ending hatred and feud?
They do though. Lions and hyenas do not like
Oh
each
no, I
other,
know.
right?
That's why I used them as an example. They legitimately hate each other.
Yeah. So I do feel like they are not friends at all. Like
Now, who would win
I
in
don't
a
even.
fight? That's the question.
I think it depends on the day and which Bigfoot are fighting and which dogmen are fighting. You get two dogmen versus a Gugway, a Gugway's going to win 10 out of 10. But you get two dogmen versus a regular Bigfoot, the two dogmen are going to tear it apart. I think it just depends on the Bigfoot that are fighting and the Dogmen that are
Boy,
fighting.
that'd be something to. Can you imagine? You're just hiking, you're just walking along, and all of a sudden you walk upon. Oh man, you see these two
Right?
giant beasts. Man, that'd be
That
crazy,
aren't even supposed to exist.
right?
Two giant beasts that aren't supposed to exist that are over 10 foot tall going at it.
Just doing
Dude,
battle right in front of
nobody.
you. Wow, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, you'd have to email me so I could put you on the show because no one else would listen to it. I'd be like, hell yeah, come on, man, let me see it. You know, dude, and that's what's crazy. I think, man, that would be intense, man. But yeah, and the territories are so vast of the two different, like what they live in, and Bigfoot are everywhere. But I don't know if Dogmen are everywhere. But they've had Dogmen sightings in the county I grew up in. They've had several of them. And it's like, wow, really? Like, it's coastal plains, man, but we've had Bigfoot sightings.
Well, you hear about the
So-
Rougarou in Louisiana a lot in the swamps,
Yeah.
and they say the
You hear
Rougarou.
about that one? Yeah, that one's man, that one's a different kind of beast though. That one's, man, I thought it was a Dogman type creature, and then it's not. It's like more like a werewolf.
They
but
say
it's
that
not
one's a
werewolf.
killer. Yeah, they say that one's a killer.
Yeah, that one is a killer. So it would make more sense that it fall under the werewolf category because most werewolves, you know, they are killers, and one of my favorite cryptids. I say it all the time, but werewolves, you know, are definitely more of the killer. But I feel like nowadays the Dogman has replaced the werewolf. The werewolf has lost its mojo. It's all Dogman now, all down the board. That's what people.
Well, I'll never forget those guys that said that they shot that dog man, and those black vehicles and those men in black suits pulled up, and they took the body and they took their weapons and they took their ID information and gave it back and said, "Don't you be talking about this." And they took the body.
They do that a lot,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, they do that with people that have horrible Bigfoot encounters, and they go to talking about it, and then they're like, "Well, why are you talking about this? We told you not to." You know, it's one of those things, dude.
And now here's the
That's
question.
why.
How many research military facilities are in these states where we have all these big sightings? Think about that.
Dude, that's yeah, that one's intense, dude. I believe that there is and like I said, if you check out DA's book, this is what his books are based on.
Okay.
A military cryptid hunting team. And dude, I believe that is a real thing. Like, I think there is a branch in the military.
Oh, the phantoms.
Yeah, that kill cryptids that are rogue and get too close to humanity, and they're like, all right, we got to take this one out because it's doing too much. So let's go ahead and get rid of it. I believe that happened because there are stories of people that see these training exercises, right? And why are the military here? Why are they at this random little podunk town doing a training exercise? It's
Right.
never had anything before, but now Bigfoot reports or Dogman reports are coming in hot, and then this team shows up.
Now
like
all of a
3 weeks
sudden,
later.
military personnel, and
Yeah. And then they're gone. They're there, and then they're gone.
Now,
So
see,
they-
there's
they
something
got
to
something.
that, though. There really has to be something
Yeah.
to that. There has to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there just has to.
There's a reason why.
Because I don't believe in
there's
coincidence. I don't.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing with the government is coincidental.
Yeah.
Nothing with any of those big groups are coincidental. They do everything for a purpose and for a reason, and they're going to do it. They don't just happen to be there. No, they're there, and it's a reason because too much is getting out, and they got to wrap it back up and make sure that everything goes good. You know, they can't just have Bigfoot running all rampant and tearing up people's trash cans.
Just like that Kandahar giant thing that happened in Afghanistan.
Dude,
That story
I
was
love that.
covered up, and countless people
Buried.
have
Yeah.
tried to find out stuff, and they can't. But those two soldiers,
No.
man, they blurred their faces and they spilled the beans. Those two soldiers told it all.
I would love to get a hold of somebody that has that story, like a real witness account, not just read it, but like has that story.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that would be freaking sweet, man. Because that giant dude, that thing came out. That was a Nephilim, though.
Yeah.
It was red haired.
They said 15 feet tall.
That man.
Yeah, they said it was 15
Yeah.
feet.
And brutal and just to the point. But you know where his body's at? The Smithsonian, along with every other giant skeleton they dig up across the earth. They take him to the Smithsonian, never seen again, because they got that shit locked down.
There's something to them, too. Oh, the Smithsonian's dirty.
Yeah.
There is something to them.
Yeah, They're dirty.
The Smithsonian and the
dirty.
government have some kind of dirty connection. Believe that.
Yeah. But, we won't get into that one. This show's for entertainment purposes only. Let me
Absolutely.
reinstate that again. Yeah. This is nowhere near truth. This is all fiction. But, but yeah, man. But Nathan, it's been good talking to you, brother.
That was an awesome time, man. Always love coming on.
Yeah, we'll definitely catch back up here once I get everything settled back down. I'll gladly have you back.
Yeah, because I got plenty of part 2 of that Bigfoot family. I mean, years I lived there. We're
always down for more cryptid and paranormal or whatever.
Yeah, we always can do part 2.
Heck yeah, brother.
All right, well, God bless and thank you, man.
God bless, brother. Yes, sir. Well, that's it for tonight, everyone. If you want to be on the show, shoot me an email. My email address is polarbear, hoth@gmail.com, or check me out on TikTok and Instagram, polarbear, hoth, or reach out to the Facebook page, Highway of the Hidden. Y'all have a good one.
And as the road disappears into the mist, the hidden waits for those brave enough to follow. Until next time, keep your eyes on the shadows and remember, every highway has its secrets. This has been Highway of the Hidden.